Conflicts, donut fights, and luas have increased in nearly all of the occupied districts as a result of the Russian-Ukrainian war. Christians are fighting more violently against one another day by day. The city of Bhagmat in the Donetsk area saw the most conflicts. With the start of the new year, hundreds of clashes took place in Bachmann. In recent weeks, the city of Soledad in Bachmann has been the scene of the most violent clashes since February 24, when Russia began its invasion of Ukraine. The activity in this region appears to have a significant impact on the course of the war. Yormack, the head of the presidential office of Ukraine, compared the clashes and back utensils at our regions to the Battle of Virginia in. The longest-running combat in history was fought in this battle, according to legend. There was an abrupt quiet once the worries stopped cooperating. According to Russian soldiers, Ukrainian soldiers had left the area Soledad, but the reality was completely different. The Russian army had broken its silence in celebration of its own victory and declared that it had taken control of the area. In order to make a strategic move, Ukrainian forces temporarily withdrew from Soledad. Through this maneuver, the Ukrainian army was able to unite the Russian invaders as they were chanting. The Ukrainian army kept its cool and waited for more invaders to gather in the area because this meant eliminating more enemies with one attack. Victorious Ukrainian soldiers were rubbing their hands while watching the Russian invaders in the area. It was up to the Ukrainian soldiers to destroy the invaders gathered in Soledad. One HIMARS missile system was deployed by the Ukrainian army to attack the invaders. One HIMARS missile system that was fired at the time the Russian soldiers were grouped together killed 25 Russian servicemen. Social media users shared video of the Ukrainian army's effective operation in Soledad. The Ukrainian army is watching these Russian soldiers in real time as they enter the building they are using as a bunker. As soon as the Russian soldiers enter the building they are using as a bunker, the Ukrainian army detonates this bunker targeted by the HIMARS missile. The footage shows a huge fireball and smoke. After the successful mission, the Ukrainian army strengthened their foothold in Soledad by leaping into the air from the building with one globe and annihilating a Russian regiment with its bunkers. Following the operation, soldiers temporarily retreated from the area before retaking their positions, and the Ukrainian troops reappeared in Soledad. The Ukrainian army launched the attack in Soledad against the mercenary unit of the Wagner Group company. Following this successful Ukrainian offensive demonstrated once more that the claims made by Russian officials in the previous few days that we captured Soledad were untrue. The Russian army has been forced to remove its troops from numerous places due to a paucity of military manpower, as Bachmat and Soledad are primarily meant by members of the Wagner Group, a private military business. Church and soldiers loyal to Kadyrov and Russian soldiers loyal to the Wagner Group are stationed in most of the occupied territories. These soldiers are particularly deployed in the areas where clashes are the fiercest. This issue has become a hot topic in Russia after it was alleged that Putin used Chechnya soldiers loyal to Kadyrov as artillery shells on the front line. A startling allegation was made about the intensification of the clashes in Soledad and the deployment of. If these allegations are accurate, hundreds of soldiers have perished as a result of Afghani Prigozhin's greed for material power. Prigozhin is the head of the Wagner Group company and dispatched his soldiers to these areas in order to get the buried mines and support Motel Soledar. In recent days, the 46th Commando Brigade serving in the region made a statement. This statement included an important detail about Russia's propaganda, according to which Russia achieved its success not at the front but rather through propaganda and lies. The statement of the 46th Commando Brigade in Soledar was as follows: "Everything is fine. We're working on everything." While sanctions have negatively impacted the Russian economy, Russia has been unable to withstand the aid packages offered by Western and European nations. People in Russia are clamoring for a quick end to the occupation of Ukraine after Virgin tried to come up with his own remedies against these sanctions, but failed. Because giving up the occupation would destroy Putin's entire political career and reputation, he is ignoring the cries of the Russian people. In response, Putin is taking steps to buy more time and strength in the face of claims that his negotiations are only intended to buy time rather than bring about peace. Russia is withdrawing from several areas as a result of its lack of troops and munitions. Many Russian soldiers are unprepared and unable to complete their training owing to the conflicts increasing. According to claims made by Ukrainian officials, ammunition is another crucial shortage Russia needs, as it truly affects how much of an advantage the Russian army enjoyed in the early stages of the conflict. Since the invasion began, Russia has steadily decreased the number of its attacks. According to Kirill Bujanov, the chief of the Ukrainian Defense Ministry's primary intelligence department, Russian missile attacks are declining, and if this trend keeps up, the Russian army will have to significantly scale back its airstrikes in March while resolving all of these issues. With the assistance of Western and European nations, the Ukrainian army has achieved great success against the occupying Russian army. Their most recent developments in solitaire are also thanks to the weapons sent from the West Side Europe. Dozens of Russian soldiers and tons of ammunition can be destroyed with a single hammer, as they have all witnessed with the most recent development, but with these armament aerial vehicles nearly altered the course of the war to the extent that Ukrainian soldiers wrote songs for Barak RTB-2S. Varada TB-2S can stay in the air for 27 hours and can carry a weight of 150 kilograms. The Ukrainian army destroyed numerous invading targets in many regions with Barak RTB-2S pursued from Turkey. These quieter, quicker drones effectively eliminate the intended targets. How low do you believe Russia will be able to stand against Ukraine, which is growing stronger every day with the assistance of Western and European countries, seems to be determining the outcome of the Russia-Ukraine war.